Hi, this is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast, where CEOs, COOs, and business owners share strategies for better success. This is 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best strategies are concise business advice. And so we are going to get right to our guest today. So question number 1, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Lance Cayko, and I am what I would consider a serial entrepreneur. And so I own and operate a architecture firm called F9 Productions. We are an 8-person firm there. We just recently launched a construction firm, which is F14 Productions. We are a 3 crew person there, along with myself as one of the co-general contractors. We also have a podcast called Inside the Firm Podcast.
Awesome. And we are pleased to have you on here. So question number 2, what's the best thing about being a business leader?
The best thing about being a business leader, I think, is making a substantial impact in everybody else's life. So whether you're providing a service or product, or you are simply being a good employer. I think right now it's hard to get company people, right? Company men or women. And what I'm finding is that you just have to treat them right, and you have to treat them differently than we did in the past. And I think the millennials have really pushed us in a direction. As a millennial business owner, I'm recognizing that and trying to reflect those kind of values that they want to have to feel appreciated and have a long-term process with us.
It's hard not to feel a certain weight of responsibility when you're a business leader, and especially a business owner, because like you said, you do affect a lot of lives around you. All right, question number 3. I hear from other leaders that their people strategy can often be more difficult, time-consuming than their business strategy in their business. Your thoughts?
Well, I think people provide the unknown, right? So your clients, if we don't have clients, especially in a service-based business, the businesses that we have, architecture and construction, we don't have business whatsoever. And especially with that direct contact. So my wife really we sympathize with each other a lot too, because she's a realtor, and we're all in the AEC community. And what we deal with, there's a lot of different personalities. So for you to become what I like to call a chameleon, where you can shift your thinking and your thought process, and you can chameleon over to that client who maybe differs from you in all different ways, their backgrounds, that's one of the keys to success.
All right, question number 4. What strategy would you like to share with other business leaders today?
Well, the strategy that I'd like to share is how to create a 7-figure business with only $1,000 and starting off like that. That is exactly what my business partner, Alex, and I did, Alex Gore. So we graduated at the top of our classes in 2008 with Masters of Architecture degrees. And Alex went and worked for a world-renowned architect, Daniel Libeskind. He actually did the redesign of the World Trade Center, the first one. It didn't get built; a different firm got it. And then I came out to Boulder and worked for Young Architects of the Year. They won the national award, actually. So we were at the top of our game, very young, optimistic men looking to make our mark on the world as architects. And then we got laid off with a great recession, and a lot of people did, right? Architecture community took a huge hit. There was about 50% unemployment rate in the architecture community for 3 or 4 years. I had 2 kids, and I wasn't about to move back to North Dakota. I really liked the weather in Colorado. I liked the mountains. I liked the lifestyle. And then Alex thought that he would maybe go up back to North Dakota State, get a master's degree, and the recession would be over. Well, the recession didn't end in 1 year. It was a multi-year recession if you really look at the numbers. So nobody was hiring, but I did get a severance package, a very small one from when I got laid off, and it was $1,000. That was it. It was a way to keep me here for a month. And I could see the writing on the wall. So one of the things that I did, so if anybody's in the position, I like to say that if you're in the position of you can see maybe a recession coming, depending on your economics background, or if you can kind of get the feeling when work is getting slow, you should be looking and planting seeds elsewhere. And I don't mean just looking for maybe more work because the jobs might be there. It's, okay, maybe this is time for me to start my own business. There's maybe no other better opportunity. What do I have to lose? I'm already going to get kicked to the gutter anyway. So that $1,000 that was given to me as a little severance package, I use that to take care of just some basic business setup stuff. And then what I did is I put out a series of ads and fell back on my handyman work until I could get architecture work. And so why I like to bring up that it was only $1,000, and this last year we actually grossed over 3.2 million if you count both of our firms, architecture and our construction side of things. But a lot of people, I think they look at other entrepreneurs, especially if they haven't ever started a business, and they get intimidated and they think, oh, I need a loan. I need a giant loan. Like I need to be like Donald Trump and get a loan from my dad, right? But there's a lot of us out there who almost had nothing in our pockets. And I just want to be one of the proofs of concept of that you can do it. And the way you do that is, again, you have to put your feelers out, but there's just getting really good at the basics, right? So if there's one thing that you have as a skill or a product, and you hone that in on being really good at the fundamentals and nailing it and getting it down to a perfect science, that's when you start repeating it. And then all businesses is a multiplier, right? The more employees you have, the more billable hours you have. The more widgets you can sell, then the more profit you can theoretically get. But none of that is possible to either have the really good employees who do a really good job doing service-based business, or the really good product, if you don't boil it down to its fundamentals and try to perfect one of those two things.
Very solid advice. I like the part also about the $1,000, and as I work with a lot of businesses, a lot of them that have started with their back against the wall are more successful in a lot of ways, I think, because it drives their passion more. It drives their intensity more, because it's do or die, so to speak. And where, you get a loan or you feel some cushion there, and you don't maybe take it as serious as others do. So question number 5, what other business owners, CEOs, successful ones like yourself would you like to acknowledge here, or you think would be good on this podcast?
I owe a shout out to two gentlemen in particular. One is Mark LePage, who runs the Entree Architect podcast. He is a pioneer in getting architects to finally open up and quit being less proprietary about how they operate. And what that has done is it's really had a grassroots effect of now we have all these architects that are entrepreneurs and small business owners helping each other out, and knowing that at the same time there's plenty of food to eat out there, so we don't have to protect all the food, right? And then the second one would be Enoch Sears of the Business of Architecture podcast. If it wasn't for him and Mark, I don't think we would have a strong entrepreneurial spirit and a group of people moving up and really helping out the practice of architecture, not just through design, but entrepreneurship.
That's really cool. Sounds like a lot of changes in the community and moving forward for the better in that community. So,
yep.
Well, great. So final fun kind of question, number 6. Tell me about your favorite past boss.
My favorite past boss was technically my first boss. And that was my dad's best friend, who was a general contractor, and he gave me a shot. He gave me a shot outside of either I'm going to work on one of my grandpa's farm or my other grandpa's cattle ranch up in North Dakota. And I loved it. I loved the atmosphere. It was some of the hardest work ever that I've ever done physically in my life. We would wake up at 4 or 5 a.m., get on the roof, tear it off, and then put a new roof back on by 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Very sweaty, very hard work. Back in the day, it was $7.25 an hour, which was actually kind of a lot compared to, minimum wage then. But his name is Bruce Falcon, and he was fantastic.
Well, it sounds like you've been in construction and architecture all your life if you started that young with it. So
yes, sir. Yep, 24 years.
That's great. Well, it has been fun having you on and talking with you. Real quick before we leave, can you tell people how they can reach out or get a hold of you?
Yeah, I think the best way would be you can either go to f9productions.com or you can go to insidethefirmpodcast.com and check out, we tell our whole story on our podcast. Start at episode 0. I think you get an inside look of how you can start a firm from $1,000 and bring it to a 7-figure firm.
That'll be something good. Hopefully the listeners will check out.
Yes, sir.
And for now, this is Keith Weaver with the Executive Strategy Podcast. And for more insights and to follow us, you can follow us at Weaver Business Coaching on LinkedIn or on your favorite podcast platform. And we wish you the best success.